Good morning. Welcome to the Premium Public Video Forecast discussion for Friday, January 26, 2024. Well, we start off first with the realization that we do have a very active pattern, but a warm one at that. And so, a lot of the thoughts and a lot of the excitement of the potential of a snowfall on the I-95 corridor this week, as I warned, was unrealistic. And the reason why, and this is a good lesson on understanding the environment you're in when you're looking at operational guidance, whether it's the European, the GFS, the ICON, whatever you want to look at. And that is that when you're in phases 3, 4, and 5 during the winter, and you could even include 6 in this as well, it's extremely unusual to have a winter storm during these MJO phases because the forcing in the atmosphere is such that it doesn't support high latitude blocking. It doesn't support interaction with the subtropical jet stream and the polar jet stream in a favorable manner. It tends to support above normal heights around the Bahamas and Florida and in the southeast, and typically supports a storm track that, at the very least initially, is to the west of the region. You might get redevelopment towards the coast, but even that is slow because of the lack of support for a coastal low pressure system and colder air on the coastal plain. So when you have all those factors, whenever you see a snow solution for your backyard on the I-95 corridor and you're in these phases, be extremely skeptical. Trust me, it'll save you a ton of time if you're staying up watching models, as many do during this time of year. When you're in these phases, get the extra sleep. It's going to be a waste of time. But I have some good news, and that is that the MJO for February is moving into more favorable phases. Especially phase 7 is a somewhat cold phase. It's a transitional phase in February. Phase 8, phase 1, obviously, and phase 2, these phases right here. Actually, what you could do is basically do phase 7 is your transitionary, and then 8 through 3 are your winter storm potentials. And as you can see, for right now, we move into phase 7. There is some disagreement on the speed in which this moves. Okay. The models have been going back and forth on this, and you can see the volatility involved in here. But in the long range, you could see as we get into February, we move into a favorable phase here. And when it goes into a neutral circle, when you're in El Nino, that basically just means that El Nino's in control. When you're in phase 8, 1, 2, and 3, El Nino's influence is being enhanced. So, of course, and that increases your potential for at least East Coast cyclogenesis and a winter storm potential if you get the cold air and the blocking to work out properly. So there is your tropical forcing. And then in the stratosphere, we continue to see our polar vortex is consolidated and strengthened, which is expected after a major disruption. But we are seeing support for stretching taking place here. And I've been keeping an eye on the EP flux, and I've been keeping an eye on the evolution on the European and the GFS. I really like the idea of a stretch towards the Aleutians. And if you get that, then you can build up that negative EPO, which then cascades down into a negative Arctic oscillation, cold air infiltrating for February, and the potential for a block. I'm not really all that impressed with a negative NAO block with this type of configuration, but you only need a weak one, neutral to weak somewhere in that level to get a winter storm on the East Coast. So again, just kind of mentioning this for those winter weather lovers out there. All is not lost and winter is not over yet. We still got a ways to go. But this is the type of pattern you get in this type of phase 4, 5, and 6, where you don't really have the interaction of the polar jet stream here. And I know there's a lot of talk about this configuration. I've seen it online quite a bit. And yeah, this is definitely a blocky pattern. I like this evolution taking place here with the Aleutian low. And certainly this is an active subtropical jet stream. Not all that excited with the cold air transport yet, but I get it. If you get enough convergence and confluence here, you get a nice strong Arctic high sending a cold air southward. Um, Maybe not the best support 850 millibars, but cold enough. But this is not a pattern that, for me, screams winter storms. It certainly doesn't scream torch either. But by the time we get to February 10th, on the guidance here, again, this is the end of the guidance, so expect changes. But there is your upper level lows starting to take shape around the Aleutians. There's your ridge on the west coast of Canada building into Alaska. So we got rid of our upper level low in Alaska, which is certainly good news. So you get that potential to take polar and Arctic air masses from portions of northern Canada and send it down into the eastern two-thirds of the United States. Here's your signal of an active subtropical jet stream with short waves marching through. You don't really have a negative NAO block here. So anything that develops during this time period, let's say February 7th to 10th, is going to be a fast moving storm and kind of a thread the needle type scenario. A little bit better potential than what you have right now, which is almost zero, but certainly better. And there's certainly that potential where you get these short waves cutting in, cutting under the cold air that tries to build south. So I don't like this, but I like this. This to me is maybe you get some low level cold air to bleed south, but it really locks up the Arctic air. That is for sure. So I get there's a little bit of excitement here because you get an active subtropical jet stream cutting under the polar jet stream. But in this scenario here, I'm not seeing a lot of cold air involved. So, you know, we have to have a little bit of patience and we have to get into February. In the meantime, it is awfully mild and it's going to get milder today. If you like warm weather and want to get a little bit of spring fever, today is your day, especially from Philadelphia on southward. Heck, you can even include central New Jersey on this. New York City, you'll be on the edge. It'll be okay. Temperatures in the 50s, certainly not anything to sneeze at this time of year. Currently, right now, we have temperatures in the mid to upper 30s over the far northern interior, lower to mid 40s around the New York City metro, mid to upper 40s in the Philadelphia metro, and then down towards southern New Jersey with winds from the south. You have temperatures in the lower 50s. And I think you can see the stationary / warm front in place here with winds from the northeast over much of New York City and Philadelphia metro, and from the south over southern New Jersey. And once you know it, there's our frontal boundary. And so our warm front is starting to push northward. We continue on with showers this morning, becoming more scattered as we move towards the afternoon hours. And then this cold front basically peters out and doesn't really provide much of an air mass change. So what you end up with is a mild weather pattern, and then you get some cooler air build in by the time we get to tomorrow, but not anything that is cold. I'd say cooler. Still above normal. That is for sure. So when you take a look at our infrared satellite picture, the bulk of the stronger lifting has lifted up towards New England. So the bulk of our heaviest rainfall is pretty much over, but we still have some pesky showers through the morning, clearing skies towards the afternoon. We'll get some breaks of sun, and that is going to allow some of our temperatures to spike, especially from central New Jersey on southward. Meanwhile, our next storm starts to organize here around Oklahoma and Texas, and that is what we're going to be watching for Sunday to Monday. Now, this shortwave is still pretty robust, but again, you got a neutral to positive tilted trough. You got a lot of lifting, rapidly lifting to the northeast. This scenario here is interior snowfall and marginal at that. In this scenario, you have an 850 millibar load attempting to develop, and it basically develops right over the northern mid-Atlantic on Sunday night. So what that means is that your freezing line, your rain snow line is going to be over the interior, and this is pretty much a rain event for the coastal plain. Yes, we get cold air bleeding at the end, so yes, you'll see a little bit of snow at the very end, but not anything that is going to warrant any type of impacts on travel. So Sunday looks like a wet, raw day. Temperatures stuck in the 30s, lower 40s, just ugly. And then as you head towards the interior, towards the Poconos, the Catskills, that's where you kind of set up your potential there when we take a look at the temperatures here of interior snowfall, but this is very marginal. So when I see this type of environment, what it says to me is 8-to-1, 10-to-1 ratio is very wet snow over the higher elevation. Still snow, but on the coastal plain, for most of the storm, we're above freezing. And by the time we get to below freezing at 7 a.m., a lot of this precipitation is exiting out because we have a positive to neutral tilted 500 millibar trough. So the lifting is going to be lifting to the northeast pretty quickly, and dry air transport is going to be following just as fast. So when you look at the next 90 hours, again, the showers lift through this morning, start to break up, and then look at our temperatures. Just talk about a gradient here. You're talking about, let's zoom in here, temperatures in the upper 30s in northern Connecticut this afternoon, upper 40s around New York City, lower to mid 60s around Philadelphia, and touching 70 degrees in southern New Jersey. So we go from winter to spring along the I-95 corridor. How about that? So if you want winter, head up to Connecticut. If you want spring, head down towards Philadelphia, because that is exactly what we have today. Providing everything. Everyone gets a season. It's just a matter of where you want to be with that season. All right, so we get some tranquil conditions for tomorrow. Looks pretty quiet. Temperature is pretty much seasonal. There's that cooler air. I don't really want to call this colder air. We're talking about 40s and 50s for highs in February. So we'll call it cooler than 70. So there you go. And then as we set up for Sunday, again, rain comes in early in the morning, continues on most of the day. There's your snowfall over the interior. Now, notice your lifting really gets shifted to the north and east pretty quickly here. So by Sunday evening, again, you got most of the snowfall well over the northern interior. You're getting rain snow mix over locations north and west of the city. Rain on the coast and around the I-95 corridor. And then as our storm's pulling away, again, because most of the lifting is rapidly exiting, yeah, there's a chance for maybe a few snowflakes on the coastal plain, but not much is going to amount to anything, just a trace here and there. And so that is essentially what we have set up. This is the impact map we've had in place for a couple of days. We made a few adjustments to the north this morning, but the overall theme remains the same. So up to the north, highest locations in the Poconos, Catskills, and the Central Hudson River Valley, northern Connecticut. 3 to 6 inches. Most locations are going to be near a wet 3 inches of snow. And then as we head a little bit further south towards Scranton and towards Waterbury and just south of Hartford, we're looking at 2 to 4 inches of snow, very wet snow. A lot of this, I wouldn't be surprised if it has a very difficult time accumulating on treated surfaces, but on the grass, not a problem. Then as we go a little bit further south, again, 1 to 2 inches, and this is mostly going to be late on Sunday into Monday morning. And then a trace to an inch north and west of the cities on the immediate Connecticut coast. Again, this is going to be pretty much on cold, grassy surfaces and pretty much just rain on the I-95 corridor around New York City and Philadelphia. Looking at a quarter to maybe 3/4 of an inch of rain. Not a major precipitation event and not really a major snow event. So we'll keep this up on the premium site, and I'll put up a public map by tomorrow with pretty much the same scenario here, just so you guys up here in northern Connecticut and the Poconos are prepared for that light snowfall event. So let's walk through our forecast for today. Showers this morning, clearing skies towards the afternoon, temperatures ranging from the upper 30s to mid 50s over the northern interior. Then you got the lower to mid 50s around the New York City metro, then upper 50s to mid 60s in the Philadelphia metro, and upper 60s to lower 70s around southern New Jersey. That is what I call a temperature gradient. Tonight into tomorrow morning, high pressure briefly builds in with sky cloud cover. Low temperatures will range from the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon with sky cloud cover will range from the upper 30s to lower 40s over the northern interior, mid 40s to lower 50s along the coast. On Sunday, our storm comes in with periods of rain for most of the region. Higher elevation snow is expected starting Sunday morning, continuing on through Sunday afternoon, mixing at times with rain and sleet. Rain continuing on the coastal plain. Temperatures will range from the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the mid 30s over the northern interior and upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. We could see a few mid 40s around southern New Jersey if we get a little bit of a break in the rainfall. But overall, the theme on Sunday is wet and raw. And oh, by the way, for the Chiefs and Baltimore game, that is going to feature showers tapering off with temperatures basically holding around the 50s. So not too bad at all. It should be just fine to play in. On Monday, our storm pulls away with lingering rain and snow showers in the morning, followed by clearing skies in the afternoon. Look for low temperatures to range from the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast, and high temperatures will range from the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior and upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. Temperatures really don't move all that much on Monday. On Tuesday, high pressure will be in place with sky cloud cover. Low temperatures will range from the mid to upper teens over the northern interior, lower to mid 20s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. On Wednesday, sky cloud cover is expected, with temperatures ranging from the mid teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, lower to mid 20s along the coast. High temperatures range from the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior and lower to mid 40s along the coast. On Thursday, sky cloud cover is expected with high pressure hanging on. Low temperatures will range from the upper 20s to lower 30s. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 30s over the interior and upper 30s to mid 40s along the coast. And on Friday, a weak cold front will move through with a few rain and snow showers. Other than that, sky cloud cover with low temperatures ranging from the lower to mid teens over the northern interior, upper teens to lower 20s along the coast, and high temperatures in the mid 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior and mid 30s to lower 40s along the coast. That is your forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. And as always, stay safe out there.